I'm leaving in the morning, Kora with surprise said. Tomorrow? Henry asked. What's so surprising about it? Kora replied.
Subscribe if you are making a part of one of your channel.
Kora and Henry were both married, and they needed a servant because their old servant had left the job. One day, Henry brought a servant home and said to Kora, "Dear, his name is John, and from today onwards he will work here." When Kora saw John, she couldn't stop looking at him because John was incredibly beautiful. After seeing John for a while, Kora said to Henry, "It's fine, but he should also be aware of the rules and regulations here, and you should explain to him in detail about my routine as well." Having done that, Kora looked at John once again and then went to her room. The next day, Henry had gone to the office, and Kora, as usual, woke up late. After getting fresh, Kora went to the kitchen where John was preparing breakfast. Upon seeing Kora, John said, "Good morning, ma'am. I'm preparing breakfast for you. Please wait a little while." "Oh, it's okay. Take your time. I'll just sit here." John smiled at Kora and began preparing breakfast. Kora, who used to avoid talking directly to any servant, was speaking to John in a very polite manner. Kora despised the word wait, but she found it pleasing when John asked her to wait. As she slept at night, Kora could only think about John. His beauty had made a deep impression on her heart. The next morning, when John was busy in the kitchen, Kora went there and sat down. She began to ask him, "I want to know something about you." Kora asked the question to John, even though she had never shown any interest in the servants before. John said, "Ma'am, I'm alone in this world. My parents left me when I was just a child, and I have no idea who took care of me after that. All I know is that when I came to my senses, I found myself as a servant in a wealthy household, obediently following their every command. I don't know where I met them. Life there was like a prison, and there was no love or affection. In the end, I managed to escape from there, and after wandering around, I ended up here. I worked in many houses, but due to my habit, I couldn't stay in one place for long. Fortunately, I found a job in your house." John shared his story, and Kora was quite surprised to hear it. After listening to the story, Kora asked, "So what was that habit of yours that made you leave every place?" John replied, "I can tell you right now." He didn't want to disclose that part of his life, and Kora didn't press further to find out. Then John got busy preparing breakfast, and Kora was continuously watching him with loving eyes. Who knows what kind of magic John had cast on Kora? Because even though Kora wasn't easily impressed by handsome men, John had something more than just his good looks that had drawn Kora towards him. And just one night, at night, when Henry and Kora went to bed, Henry told Kora that he was going on a business tour to Malaysia for a few days. "When are you leaving?" Kora asked. Henry replied, "I'm leaving in the morning," Kora with surprise said. "Tomorrow?" Henry asked. "What's so surprising about it?" Kora replied. "Oh, nothing at all," Kora added. "Anyway, bring something for me on your return." Kora was quietly delighted upon hearing Henry's plan to leave, but she didn't express her happiness to Henry. The reason for her joy was something she knew and had kept hidden in her heart. The next day, Henry had left and Kora was now quite happy. She saw this as a good opportunity to draw John's attention towards her. She didn't know that John also had feelings for her, but wasn't expressing them. Just like how Kora wasn't openly showing her love for him, Kora now often stayed close to John, talking to him. John had also grown closer to Kora, and there was a considerable bond between them. 4 days had passed since Henry had left. In these 4 days, Kora and John had become very close to each other. John was also nervous when Kora approached him. When Kora expressed her surprise, John, in a slightly hesitant tone, told her not to come too close, or else his emotions would slip out of control, and that was exactly what Kora wanted. Kora desired John's presence, and he was afraid of that fact. "Hello, Kora, I haven't come too close to you. Keep your distance from me. Otherwise, you might get hurt," John said. Kora brought John into the room and said, "Today, you have to give yourself to me." John told Kora, "Look, Kora, understand this. I only want to love you from a distance. I cannot establish a physical relationship with you. Otherwise, you..." Before saying anything further, Kora placed her finger on John's lips and fell silent. Kora brought her lips close to John's lips, and at the moment, both of their emotions were flowing. John, who had been resisting a little while ago, was now passionately holding Kora's face in his hands and kissing her lips. Kora then began to kiss John's neck, and John also started kissing Kora's neck. Suddenly, Kora felt that John had grabbed her waist with his hands very forcefully. John had clenched Kora's waist with all his strength. Kora felt as if her ribs were breaking. Kora trembled and said with force, "What are you doing?" Kora was trying to free herself, but John kept kissing her neck persistently. Kora was writhing in pain, but John was not letting her go. Then Kora let out a final scream when John's teeth suddenly pierced and went into her neck. A few moments later, when John's blood-stained teeth came out of Kora's neck, Kora's entire trembling body turned pale. John had sucked all the blood from Kora's body through her neck. Kora was dead. "Ah, Kora, I told you not to come too close to me, or if my emotions flared up," leaving the sentence incomplete. John's sinister laugh filled the silent room. "This is the reason why I couldn't stay anywhere. Wherever I went, some woman would fall in love with me, and then, in her desire to fulfill her sexual cravings, would put her life at risk." Afterward, John, laughing hysterically, turned into a bat and flew out of the window, disappearing into the sky, searching for another victim.
If you enjoy animated horror stories like this, then subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.